Good. Okay, great. Now, moving on to Aristotle, just to give you a brief recap, we studied Plato and Plato's theory of ideas, right? We studied that very, very important philosophy, that extremely important view in the history of philosophy, which is Plato's theory of ideas. Many people, when they're starting with philosophy, they find it slightly difficult. क्यों? क्योंकि usually जो इंसान है, human beings usually function via senses. You know, we always use our five senses. And mostly we are used to a world where these five senses work. But if you remember from the first class only, we discussed that philosophy is all about the mind. It is all about the mind. So much so that many a times you'll have to literally shut off, literally shut the senses down and just listen to the mind. So the theory of ideas of Plato is somewhat similar to that concept because Plato divided the world into two parts. He said एक part दुनिया का हम सिर्फ अपनी senses से देखते हैं, सूंघते हैं, touch करते हैं, you know, the five senses. मगर एक part दुनिया का जो है, जो असल हकीकत है दुनिया की, which is the actual reality of the world, which is the world of ideas, the world of forms. This world we don't see with our senses. We don't perceive with our senses. We perceive with our mind. We think about these things. This world is accessible to our this world is accessible to our intellect. Hold on. Yeah. This world is accessible to our intellect. The world of ideas or the world of forms is not accessible to our senses. That's very, very important to understand Plato's theory of ideas. And that's what he said. कि मतलब वो theory of वो concept of ideas क्या है? What is an idea? Idea है जो mental picture आप किसी चीज की बनाते हैं. या जो चीज की असल हकीकत होती है, the actual essence and the nature of the thing is its idea. So let's say, let's talk about cows. The moment I mention the word cows, you have a mental picture of what a cow looks like. Everyone has a mental picture of what a cow looks like. You don't have a mental picture of a horse. You don't have a mental picture of an ant. You don't have a mental picture of a turtle. आप अपने जहन में आपको काउ आती है, वो ख्याल आता है जहन में, है ना. अब चाहे आप कश्मीरी हैं, चाहे आप अफ्रीकन हैं, चाहे आप अमेरिकन हैं, चाहे आप चाइनीज हैं, ये जो मेंटल पिक्चर है ये सेम ही रहेगी. इसके नाम अलग होंगे. चाइनीज गाय को कुछ और बोलेगा, अमेरिकन काउ बोलेगा, अफ्रीकन कुछ और इसका वर्ड यूज करेगा. वर्ड्स डिफरेंट होंगे, मगर जो एक्चुअल हकीकत है एक एक इस चीज की, गाय की जो एक्चुअल हकीकत है, वो सब लोगों के जहन में है. What it means for a cow to be a cow. The cowness जिसको बोला जाता है, this ness, horseness or cowness, this idea of having the nature of a cow. और अगर ये cowness किसी गाय से चली जाए, वो गाय गाय ही नहीं रहेगी, वो कुछ और हो सकता है, मगर वो गाय गाय नहीं रहेगी. वैसे ही human being also has a humanness. We have our human nature. And if that human nature is gone, we will not be called humans. We can be called anything other than humans. So that essential characteristic जो एक चीज का हो, चाहे वो उसका फॉर्म हो, चाहे वो कुछ भी हो, यूजुअली फॉर्म ही होता है, जो गाय का एक फॉर्म है, ह्यूमन बीइंग्स का एक फॉर्म है, और वो उसका एसेंशियल नेचर होता है, उसी को हम आइडिया बोलते हैं, उसी को हम फॉर्म बोलते हैं. दैट वाज प्लेटोज theory of ideas. That's very important for you to understand how Plato produced this dualistic theory. इसको बोला ही जाता है dualistic theory. Now, let me remind you, everyone should have their notebooks with their pens, and whatever I'm saying, जो भी मैं कह रही हूँ, just take it down as notes. Then I'll give you detailed ये जो PDF है, or maybe a book also, but you should have your own notes. ठीक? So we're done with Plato and his theory of ideas. But now we want to move to the next topic, which is Aristotle. तो Aristotle के बारे में आप थोड़ा सा लिख सकते हैं, just a little bit of introduction about Aristotle, which is that Aristotle was undoubtedly the greatest pioneers of human knowledge. मतलब he was one of the greatest thinkers in history. He is considered the greatest philosopher of all time. He's very, very famous, Aristotle. ठीक? He was the master of dialectic. If you remember, we studied the dialectical method, which was a method of cross-examination, questioning, and coming to the truth. So he was a master of that method. That method was produced by Socrates, and we know that Plato was the student of Socrates. But now, who is Aristotle? You will have to write it down that Aristotle was the student of Plato. Yes, Aristotle was the student of Plato. Acha, if you remember, what was the school of Plato called? Plato founded a school in Athens. What was that school called? It was called the Academy. The Academy. That was the name of Plato's school. वो जो स्कूल था एथेंस में, उस स्कूल में पढ़ा है एरिस्टोटल ने. ठीक है? Aristotle has studied in the academy, which was Plato's school. He was Plato's student. अच्छा, ये भी जरूरी है, we need to understand that Aristotle was a great observer. He was a great reader. He was a specialist both in natural sciences as well as philosophy. So matlab he was a scientist as well as a philosopher. Aristotle was a scientist as well as a philosopher. Natural sciences हुए अपने physics, chemistry, biology, बाकी geography, geology, वो सब, right? So he was good in those sciences as well as philosophy. So he's written on so many different subjects like logic, mathematics, physics, biology, psychology, metaphysics, ethics, politics, aesthetics. इतने subjects में he's mastered these subjects. Okay. So his philosophy included almost all the sciences and humanities. Humanities यही होती हैं, जो sciences नहीं होती हैं, जो they deal with human society and human beings like psychology, philosophy, anthropology, politics, political science, वो सब humanities में आएगा. So this is his range of his intellect. His range was encyclopedic. It was almost like an encyclopedia. His knowledge, original as well as creative. He was the master of those who know. Okay, so you'll give a brief introduction. You should know who you are talking about, and then only can we move to his actual idea, his actual theory. थोड़ा सा about his life. Do write his period, जो इसका time period था, this 384 to 322 BC. If you remember, हमने Plato में लिखा था, I think I did tell you that Plato founded his academy, his school in 385 AD. No, I'm sorry, not AD, BC, before Christ. Right? 385. So एक साल पहले Aristotle is born, and then when he grows up, he goes to Plato's school. Like it says here, he was a member of Plato's Academy. He was a member of Plato's Academy. So, हाँ, very important thing, आप सब भी जानते होंगे, जो सिकंदर, the बादशाह सिकंदर, Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was taught by Aristotle. So Aristotle became the teacher of this very, very important king. Alexander was a king, right? Alexander the Great came to India also, I think, yeah. That, उस वक्त का India was, including Afghanistan and Pakistan. So Alexander was a very important king, and but he was taught by Aristotle. And many people, they say Aristotle became famous because jahan bhi Alexander the king used to go, and Alexander the king, the Alexander the Great, as he's called, he conquered a lot of, uh, nations, many, these countries that he took over. Up though they are known as countries, at that time it was just landmass, right? So he conquered a huge, sort of land area, came under his empire. And wherever he would go, Alexander, he would take Aristotle's philosophy. That's how Aristotle actually became so famous. Good? Acha. Then it's very interesting to know that Aristotle also, when he returned to Athens, after having a trip, I think he had gone somewhere. Yeah, he left Athens and he went to Assos, another place. You don't have to write that, but this is an important thing to know that Aristotle also founded a school. Aristotle also founded his own school, which was called Lyceum. Lyceum or Peripatos. Lyceum or Peripatos. This was the name of his school. This was the name of his school. Okay. Now let's just go. You can write, obviously Aristotle has written many books. So you can write a few of these books just for your knowledge. So he's written on metaphysics. He has written a book called Organon, very famous. He's written, let's say, On the Soul. That is a book on psychology that he's written. और natural sciences में तो इसने बहुत लिखा है, written on physics. उस book का नाम ही है physics. अच्छा, और astronomy पे लिखी है किताबें, ठीक है, और cosmology पे भी. Good. Now let's go directly to our subject, which is Aristotle's theory of causation. आप लिखेंगे Aristotle's theory of causation. Causation. Now, what is causation? Firstly, let's define what causation is. Causation is the study of causes and their effects. Simple. Causation is the study of causes and their effects. Or you could say that causation studies how effects are related to causes. How effects are related to causes. So this entire, you could say, this is the property. It's not just the study, it's the property of things. You can write in causation. Causation is the property of things being causes and having effects. All things are either causes or they are effects. I mean, I caused this meeting, so I'm the cause of this meeting. And the effect is what we are listening to, right? So everything is either a cause or an effect. So that is this quality and this property of things being either causes and effects is called causation. It's also called sometimes causality. Also sometimes called causality. Let me give you a give me a second. Let me give you a dictionary definition. ऐसे ही रहना, causality. Causal. Yeah, it's the same. So, anyways, that's the definition of causation and causality, which is the property of things being either causes or effects. And within this, we study how causes cause effects, right? So, everything in the world is either a cause or it's an effect. Or sometimes together, a thing can be a cause and an effect. Like I said, I'm the cause of the meeting, and the effect of the meeting is that you all can hear me and we can have our class. But I am being affected by certain things as well. For example, I have a heater on. So the heater is the cause, and I am getting warmth, which is the effect. Good? Okay, so now Aristotle says in his book, Physics, okay, this is his book's name, Physics the Second. Physics the Second, ye wala, that there are four kinds of causes. Four kinds of causes. Number one, material cause. Number one, material cause. Number two, formal cause. Number two, formal cause. Number three, efficient cause. Number three, efficient cause. And finally, final cause. Finally, we have final cause. These are the four causes according to Aristotle. And it's very easy. So what is the material cause? Material बोलते किसको है? Material हुआ basic stuff. हम कहेंगे इसका material क्या है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये हमारा फोन है हमारे हाथ में या लैपटॉप है आगे तो व्हाट इज द मटेरियल ऑफ दिस लैपटॉप वी विल से या इट्स ऑलमोस्ट प्लास्टिक इसकी जो चिप्स है वो सिलिकॉन की होगी बॉडी है प्लास्टिक की है दैट्स द मटेरियल ऑफ द thing of the laptop. So material cause will be the basic stuff. Material cause is the basic stuff out of which the thing is made. Simple. The basic stuff out of which the thing is made, that becomes its material cause. So for example, the material cause of a house, material cause of a house includes wood, metal, glass, and other building materials used in its construction. The material cause of a house will be जो भी चीज वो घर को बनाने में इस्तेमाल हुई है. So let me give you an example. आपके सामने टेबल है. टेबल का मटेरियल कॉज क्या होगा? वुड, राइट? लकड़ी उसका मटेरियल कॉज होगी. टेबल का मटेरियल कॉज लकड़ी. लैपटॉप का मटेरियल कॉज हम बोल सकते हैं प्लास्टिक या उसकी सिलिकॉन चिप्स. घर का मटेरियल कॉज तमाम वो मटेरियल्स जिसका घर बना है. So this is the material cause. All of these things belong in an explanation of the house because it could not exist unless they were present in its composition. Right, this is the material cause. Moving on, what is the formal cause now? The formal cause, as we can see in the word itself, form आ रहा है. तो जो चीज है उसका जो form है वो उसका formal cause बनेगा. So for example, let me give you an example again so that you can understand it. Table. वही जो टेबल बनाने के वक्त जो डिजाइनर था या जो भी जिसने भी बनाया है टेबल, उसने पहले ड्राइंग की और ड्राइंग और ब्लूप्रिंट बनाया कि टेबल का स्टाइल क्या होना चाहिए, डिजाइन क्या होना चाहिए, कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए, कितना चौड़ा होना चाहिए, कैसे इसकी टांगे होनी चाहिए, सब कुछ इसमें कुछ कार्विंग तो नहीं है, वो होनी चाहिए। वो जो उसका फॉर्म बनाया गया, वो जो उसकी ड्राइंग बनाई गई ब्लूप्रिंट में, ब्लूप्रिंट और उसके डिजाइन को, उसको बोलेंगे फॉर्मल कॉज, राइट? सो यू राइट इन योर नोट्स, दिस इज द पैटर्न, this is the pattern or the essence, or the essence from which, pattern or the essence from which the thing is made, the thing is made. So for example, the formal cause of our house, of a house, would be the blueprint of its design. The formal cause of a house would be the blueprint of its design, right? So this too is part of the explanation of the house. This too is part of the explanation of the house. If we have to explain a thing, we have to literally talk about its material as well as its form and the other two causes. So it is part of the explanation of the house, its formal cause or its essence या pattern जो इसका design था blueprint पे. So since its materials would be only a pile of rubble or maybe a different house if they were not put together this way. So obviously, if they weren't designed this way, then वो सारे material जो हमारे material cause में हम discuss कर रहे थे, they would just be a pile of rubble. That's it, just concrete, some cement, some stones, rocks, nothing else. Not a house there. It becomes a house. It becomes a house with the material when we have the blueprint or the design. अब वो blueprint or design ही है formal cause. Good? So material cause, formal cause. Moving on. Efficient cause now. What is efficient cause? Efficient cause is the agent or the force that is responsible for bringing this matter and that form together. मतलब this material and its form. यहाँ आप लिखेंगे efficient cause is the agent or force immediately responsible for bringing material, don't write this matter, material and form together. Material and form together in the production of the thing. In the production of the thing. तो मतलब agent of force है कौन? जो इंसान बनाएगा, जो agent, जो force वो चीज को बनाएगी, उसे बोला जाएगा efficient cause. So let's go back to the table. Who is the efficient, or what is the efficient cause of the table? Simple. It's the carpenter. The carpenter who made the table is the efficient cause because he is the agent or the force that is immediately responsible for bringing the material. पहले material cause को लेता है, फिर formal cause के तहत वो चीज को बना के रख देता है. That is the efficient cause. Or in our case, the carpenter who made the table. और लिखेंगे, thus the efficient cause of the house would include the carpenters, masons, plumbers, and other workers who use these materials to build the house in accordance with the blueprint of its construction. तो अगर house जैसा complicated चीज लेंगे तो उसमें तो बहुत किस्म के efficient causes होंगे. वो होंगे carpenters होंगे, masons होंगे, plumbers होंगे और other किस्म के workers who will take all of these materials, जो ये material cause है, और उसी से बनाएंगे ब्लूप्रिंट के तहत वो मकान. अगर हम सिंपल एक एग्जांपल लेंगे टेबल की, तो उसका मटेरियल कॉज है वुड, उसका फॉर्मल कॉज है उसकी ड्राइंग या ब्लूप्रिंट, उसका डिजाइन, और efficient cause है उसका carpenter. Very simple, extremely simple. And finally, you have the final cause. What is the final cause now? Final cause is the end or the purpose for which a thing exists. अब किस वजह से ये बनाई है? I want to make a table, but what for? Can I make a table to, let's say to sleep? No, because you don't sleep on tables. Can I make a table to, I don't know, mm, I have no idea, to park my car? No, you don't park a car on a table. So, end or the purpose for which a thing is made. I want to make a table because I want to, let's say, put my books on it, or I want to eat my food on it, or I want to place my things on it. So the end or the purpose for which a thing exists is the final cause of the the thing. Is the final cause, the end or the purpose. So for example, house ka agar example lenge, what is the final cause of the house? The final cause of the house is the end or the purpose for which the house is made, which is to provide shelter for human beings, right? This is also part of the explanation of the house's existence, because it would never have been built unless someone needed it as a place to live. सिंपल, कि मतलब जब तक किसी की ये जरूरत ही नहीं होगी, तब तक वो चीज वजूद में ही नहीं आएगी। पहले किसी को जरूरत पड़ी और उसने प्लान किया, भाई मेरे को ये चीज चाहिए, मुझे घर चाहिए या मुझे टेबल चाहिए, तो वो जो चीज है, वो जो पर्पस सबसे पहले आया कि आई नीड दिस थिंग, दैट पर्पस और दैट वजह, दैट एंड, that is called the final cause. So the final cause of the table is the purpose for which it was made. The purpose was to place books or to eat food or anything, and the final cause of the house would be the purpose for which the house was made, which is to give shelter to human beings. Simple. So four causes of Aristotle are: number one, material cause, which is the basic material जिससे वो चीज बनी है. Number two is the formal cause, which is the blueprint or the design according to which the thing has been made, right? The third cause is the efficient cause, which is the agent or the force, the person or the force that has created that thing. So it would be the carpenter for the table, the person who made that, the agent who got the material, put it in its form, and created the thing. That will be the efficient cause of the table. And finally, the final cause. This is the end or the purpose for which a thing exists. For which a thing exists. So let's say this is, हमने तो छोटा सा एक example लिया, which is like a table or a house. मगर ये ऐसे causes Aristotle ने यहाँ रखे that you can even take like really big things. Let's say the universe. The universe has a material cause, which is all the elements जिसका universe बना है. It has a formal cause, कि जो blueprint के तहत वो बना है. We don't know what that blueprint is. We don't know what that design is. The universe has an efficient cause, which is God, who is the agent who created the universe. And finally, you have the final cause, the purpose, जिसकी वजह से, God created the universe for a purpose, for an end. That would be the final cause of the universe, right? So these four causes are done. These are Aristotle's four causes. We're almost done with our class. तो ये मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगी ये PDF. आप अपने notes इससे भी बना सकते हैं. And I would suggest you should get your own books, especially जो major students हैं, वो तो ज़्यादा ही, minor भी ला सकते हैं. A book on philosophy जो that has been recommended by your syllabus, because you're going to make your assignments according to your books, standard books जो हैं. ठीक है, that'll help you inshallah in your future semesters as well. So I'll share this with you. This also you can read and make your notes through this PDF. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.